Battlefield of Eternity, win the playoffs, everybody. Let's go. We have a Meta Madness style tournament, as I already said, with the Sisters Call Cup here. A Polish tournament for the Polish community mainly. 95% of the players are Polish. We have a lot of pre-bans that you can see down here. So, as I said, Meta Madness style. And we also have the rule that every single hero can only be played once. So from the remaining heroes, you can only play them once per match. Meaning that as we progress through the series, less and less heroes are available. So this thing is currently organized by Lucio. And yeah, now we're gonna figure out which team moves on here. We have Team Gumi against Team VVQ in the winner bracket semi-final. There is a loser's bracket. And we're going for Battlefield of Eternity with Li Ming, our next quick pick here, our first one. We get Sonya, and with that also Rega. So, Cho'Gall gets banned again, which is sad in and of itself. And then we have also Maiev, who got the boot. That one I understand more. Going up against a good Maiev player is always a nuisance. There's Varian now. This is actually a thing. With all of the pre-bans on tanks, Varian is just the thing that happens. I want to say in pretty much most series. Let's not say every. In most series on the first map already, Varian just is a pick. Simply because these sniper comps are so easy to execute and so powerful that most of the teams are saying like, alright, we want to do that and rather us than them. So you go for the Varian pick very early on in the match. And in this case, we have Li Ming with a nano boost from Lily. From Ana. That previous Lily match is still kind of stuck in my head for some reason. I don't know why. That would be one move to make Lily a little bit more viable. Give her nano boost. That would be interesting. And make it like an activatable level 20 or something along of those sorts. Yeah. Some kind of mix and match between heroes and their abilities would be kind of funny. But okay, we got Anubarak, we got ETC. So our triple front line on Battlefield of Eternity for Team Agumi. We got, on the other hand, Thrall and Junkrat. So it's a double front line for Team VVQ, meaning Thrall not with Trash Lightning. We're going to see him probably with Trolling Thunder. If it's a triple front line on Battlefield of Eternity, you can go into Trash Lightning if you want. But that still leaves us with our final pick. It means some range damage. I mean, they need at least something. Anubarak can get enormous amounts of damage out as the game progresses and he gets the stacks, but they need something else, especially for the earlier stages and for the poke. And it's going to be Lunara. So, game number 1, everybody. Team Agumi against Team VVQ on Battlefield of Eternity. Team Agumi on the left in blue with Agumi himself on Rega. So, we got the captain. Bibshik is playing Sonya. We got Itrax on Anubarak, Warnick on ETC, and Balsa is playing Lunara. Over on the right side of the map, we get Machko on Varian for Team VVQ. We got Ziomek on Li Ming, Hajdunio on Junkrat, Endless is playing Ana, and we got VVQ on Thrall. So, let's go. And also, while we're talking about it, let's maybe get the banned heroes out at this point. I don't think you're interested in those too much anymore. But I'm very much interested in heroes that are indeed being played here. And if this is another one of those series that makes it to the third map, this could also get highly interesting with the picks that we're getting on the final map then. But of course, we're jumping ahead slightly. That initial gank is already backfiring heavily. Team Agumi loses ETC. VVQ has to Hearth, but yeah, they'll be fine. It's actually kind of funny. With VVQ having to Hearth back, he is basically missing from lane nearly as long as ETC, just saying. There's obviously the XP component as well, but it's still a little bit amusing. The build that we're getting for Li Ming, I mean, we get Force Armor here on level 1, so this already indicates that we might also go full on into a poke build from her from a distance. She is obviously one of 2 range damage dealers, so there's no triple frontline protecting her. No, there's also another gank at the top. It failed the first time, and now on the second attempt, they're taking Thrall out. Green Jesus is getting eliminated and gets quickly killed. Yeah. A little bit of... Oh, careful. Alright. Also still able to get out. There was no taunt yet from Varian. Varian doesn't have it yet. But, yeah, taunt is obviously always a bit of a threat there. But in this case, wasn't really too much of an issue. So, As it turns out, we're now having lots of aggression from the red team too. So we had the initial rotations towards the top where Thrall was attacked twice and died once. Now it's the blue team rotating back down to the bottom of the map and trying to continue the aggression right here. And honestly, it is working for them. I was just about to comment on how the red team is very aggressively pushing for that bottom wall and doing lots of damage there, but now we see the exact opposite. We see Team Megumi with 2 kills to 1, really rotating from one lane to another, trying to shut down solo laners. It forced Li Ming to help out at the top too. The team's now both with level 4, and I suppose this is where things could get very interesting with Variant. Go straight in for Taunt, and that will be the play. Well, we get Speed Metal right here, and we also have Triumvirate for Li Ming. But the first objective is now soon going to come up. Just a few more seconds remaining, and then it's going to be time to see who takes Immortal number 1. Yeah, party's continuing down at the bottom of the map already. Yeah, so far so good. All the way up at the top. We have still our 1v1, but now you gotta deal with that camp, of course, too. Which is something that they will soon try and do before the Immortal fight starts. If not, that camp is likely gonna get some pretty sweet value for you. So that's always the risk. Now, we still have the attack at the bottom of the map with 4 heroes going strong, trying to escort their own camp through. But the defense is now setting up, and as long as they take that Shaman out, they're going to be totally fine. The Immortal obviously is already on the map, which allows the blue team to take a small advantage here. It's a little bit in the lead when it comes to the race. Not by a whole lot, but it should be enough to give them a halftime show victory, always assuming that the two teams are both committing to it. And it's a pretty significant lead at that. I mean, we're talking 4,000 hit points here, essentially. So, not too shabby. The fight that breaks out a second later, that's a different story, though. Taunt has already been used, so with Taunt out, yeah, they won't be that big of a threat anymore for a few more seconds. So they can always continue to poke here, especially, of course, with Lunara. Lunara, with all of that acid, when she starts dropping that, that's where you get some real value of, and it should massively help them here. The red team is in this weird spot where on the one hand they have to defend, but they also have to attack, so they're really splitting their forces a little bit and doing the best they can here. Now fully committed to the team fight. Lunara gets pooped back out again. They try for the kill. Varian low and gets healed by Ana. Ana saving the day, but they're gonna lose the objective here. They won't be able to pull this off right now. So the Immortal indeed goes to Team Agumi. Very well done. Very nice play by them. Actually, during the entire Immortal phase, not a single hero died on either side. So, not one hero went down here. So, yeah, pretty nice for them. That was actually pretty... I mean, this is pretty big. If you are able to survive through something like this, with nobody dying on either side, the next big fight is already guaranteed up at the wall this time. So this is where we're moving in right now, trying to see if they can maybe take this one out too. And yeah, the wall is falling, the gate is already about to be gone. It's a 4 versus 4 match with the side laner still sitting at the bottom of the map. That's going to be the next one. And they're getting a little bit more damage on the fort itself than I actually expected. ETC slides out, but that Immortal has done a lot of damage already and is doing even more. They won't be able to take the fort out, but that's 50% of the HP gone. So, really nice job. With the level 7 talents, we also got Calamity for Li Ming. Cam still up for the taking. And we got the Choking Pollen for Lunara now. But I gotta say, that early game, even with only 3 kills so far, we had lots of fights, and we had a very nice Immortal battle at the top that ended in favor of the blue team, as they were able to pull a bit ahead. And that fort is something that they should soon be able to take out, or at least one would assume so. By now, we have, of course, the red team still trying to get some kills in with that Variant Taunt. One hero that they eventually definitely have to take care of is exactly that guy, Anubarak. Because Anubarak is now at 119 sadism. And they get the kill on Li Ming, and now they're hoping for the cooldowns to come back so they can take Varian out too. And there's the first combo. Should have a power slide. There it is. And it's another kill, which puts Anubarak to 124 sadism now. Did not go for the extended lightning build. But just looking at the way that he is playing this out right now, that's already pretty nice for them. Because in that particular situation, Anubarak is just improving his damage numbers. We are having an experience lead that continues to grow for Team Agumi, which brings them to level 10. And the timing, of course, couldn't be any better. It's about the fort at the top that they're already taking out now. Or at least get dangerously close to it. And then an Immortal is spawning where they will have a talent advantage that can also exploit. So here comes not only Stage Dive, even with a solo frontline, well, not solo frontline, with ETC as the main tank. They go Stage Dive instead of going for Mosh Pit. We have Leap and Deadly Charge. And talking about Leap and Deadly Charge, they can charge for very now if they want to. The fort at the top is already gone, and they want at a minimum to have the halftime show here before Team BBQ gets level 10. No heroic abilities right now for the red team. But yeah, there's the attack now. And finally, heroics on both sides. And we'll see if maybe with that, the red team is able to make their own move now. And turn the objective around. They can't just simply sit there and defend. I mean, even looking at that is already giving me anxiety here. Come on, guys. You gotta attack too. You can't just simply like sit there like that and think you can just defend the entire time right now. You're too far behind. You need to at least push forward and poke it out, which is what they're doing right now. They have a great poke comp. I mean, they got Junkrat and Liming. So, two fantastic heroes to just poke this out as best as possible. And, yep, not bad. But there comes the stage dive from ATC. Looking for the slide. Nice, but Ana is still alive, and Anubarak goes down. Anubarak goes down. Ana gets killed. Great move by Balsa. That was actually really well done by Lunara, but they're losing too much. Liming gets reset after reset, has killed 3 heroes already. Now at least Junkrat dies too. ETC tries to get out. Lunara with a little bit more damage, but she's not able to take down Liming, so it's a 4-for-2 trade. And Team BBQ with some solid performance once level 10 drops into their hands, able to turn the Immortal battle around and go for objective number 2. So, very, very well done by them. That was big. Some huge plays for them here that absolutely pay off. So, you gotta give those guys some credit. That was some fantastic performance in that team fight. And Liming in particular, I mean, Zeomeg with an insane amount of resets. So, now we go for Thrall again. And that battle is not over. The blue team still believes in their chances here. They obviously, with Anubarak dying, lost the sadism on him, but he's still top damage in the game. And they want to raise this down. They still got Lunara here. She can contribute a lot in that spot. Again, Sonya at the top, sundering, and Sonya is dead. Stage dive ETC. It is Junkrat that reacts every single time that ETC is, I mean, just channels the stage dive and signals it, who immediately makes a move. So now it's a race again, but Lunara might be able to get it for the team. They want to go for Ana, they get the kill, and they get the Immortal. Damn. After everything that happened so far, they still get the Immortal, and they got a kill on Ana. So, as the dust settles, we have 7 kills, 2-6. Catapults pushing at the top. For now, abandoned. So, this will likely do some damage to the top side wall. I don't think it's going to damage the keep, but it will do some wall damage, maybe take the wall out. And then down at the bottom of the map, they are going with Immortal number 2 for the wall and are trying to take another fort out. The shield was mega low, so I don't think they can get too much here, but they should still be able to damage it at least somewhat. And a bit more than I even expected, because Lunara is getting one auto attack in after another. It gets pooped around. Very, very nice by Junkrat. That bought a bit of time. The problem is that it's still a kill. It's still destruction of the fort. They go for Thrall, and he's gone. The counter kill on Sonya after the nano boost hit Liming. And as I said at the top, this is eventually going to lead to more structures being lost there too. But now the red team is rotating over. The catapult is already doing a bit of work. We have 13 versus 13 now. So it's a really interesting first game between these two. I mean, nobody wants to drop down into the lower bracket. You really want to make your winner bracket run count. 30,000 damage for Anubarak, 28,000 for Liming. Okay. Yeah, and with that, the attempted grab of the camp, but the blue team is moving in. They're actually potentially forcing this. They might actually just say, you know what, guys, we're gonna take this one right now. So we'll see how aggressive they are for that fight. I mean, they are apparently committed. I was for a second thinking that the teams might not be too interested, just waiting for the next objective. There's no advantage that you can capitalize on. But Team Agumi believes in their teamfight prowess here. They went in. They have also 120 sadism stacks for Anubarak again, so he is starting to rack those up again. Yeah, and over here at the bottom of the map, or at the right side, we have the mercenary camp targeted once more. 8 kills to 7. 30 mortal. 2 forts down on the side of Team VVQ. And camps pushing the lanes. That's the next problem that they have to face. The camps are now pushing aggressively against those lanes. That's another big issue here. Now, with that said and done, we still have a shaman camp en route for Team VVQ. And on the objective, again it's the early poke. That's where Lunara obviously shines. Yeah, Lunara absolutely shines in that spot. And gets those moves in as we speak. This is honestly a bit of a concern. Well, I mean, it shouldn't really be too big of a problem. Eventually they can also... okay, they're sending Lunara up. I was about to say, they couldn't eventually just send one of their heroes up or two and try and deal with it. And they're making immediately short work of the shaman. Same is happening from the red teams, and nobody's really getting an advantage. And honestly, time is working slightly in favor of Team Agumi, because they will have level 16 talents just a tad faster than the opponent's team. And the waves at the top are getting pushed out a little bit. So the blue team has gone a bit deeper on the lane, pushed this lane out just a bit, and for good reason, because that is eventually going to threaten the opponent's keep again, or at least the keep wall. And with an early level 16 talent, you could then make your play. So the poke is continuing as we have both Liming and Junkrat starting to push in for this. Yeah, again the attack here as they try to go for Varian. Already taunt used, so on cooldown. Short one, granted, but still. But they're pushing them back here. And both ETC and Sonya are currently tapping at the bottom. Here comes again the play from ETC as he engages, but Junkrat was as usual ready for it and dealt with it nicely. Insta displacement, not allowing him to go for that power slide that could lock down, let's say, Ana or Liming. And they're still dancing around the issue a bit. But Junkrat is now the one that has to react to the topside push, because again, this catapult could become a problem. So you gotta deal with it. That triggers the attack from Team Agumi. Not a full commitment, but they want to poke a bit. And of course now they have level 16 talent, so the advantage is even stronger. And they can use that right now to get themselves a bit of a lead. Maybe even the halftime show. Might be a bit too optimistic, but still. So, yeah. Slowly making a couple of moves here. The problem is that the blue team is... oh, sorry, the red team is catching up in experience very quickly. So if you don't make a move right now, then you're going to lose that advantage. It's a nice little comfortable lead to have. I mean, again, talent advantages are always pretty spectacular, especially when you're talking about level 16 talents. But, yeah. By now, we have Mirror Ball in, the banner of Dalaran, and also Alpha Wolf. They go for the kill on... wow, the Ancestral in time! And in comes Lunara again with a nice hop as they're going for Li Ming. Thrall is dead, and Lunara again on a bit of a suicide mission. Chasing a nano-boosted Li Ming is honestly a mistake. Here comes the kill, the second one with the resets. Anubarak dies, he's the third victim. And Zeomag is just crushing it. He eventually dies to ETC, but even Warnick on ETC might not survive this. He's trying to get out and will probably escape. So at least he got the kill on Li Ming. But I think specifically when we're talking about Lunara, she should not have chased Li Ming. I mean, going after Li Ming is one thing. Going after a nano-boosted Li Ming is a very, very different story. She's now at 46,000 damage. Halftime show victory for the red team. And this is a chance to bring the game back. Anubarak and Sonya are back in a few seconds, so I suppose the blue team isn't quite done with this yet. And will still try to get that fight. Well, are they? It's 10 kills to 10. They might have to deal with it. But yeah, that bad boy is dropping very low, and they're just trying to reduce the damage a little bit. They're trying to stop the bleeding. Reduce the shield as much as you can. Anubarak is already going for a camp. And to be fair, 8,000 hit point, this could have been way worse. Hajdunio now with a pause. So I'm not sure if anybody dropped here. It doesn't seem like it. But they're clearly having a few issues. Maybe it's just, again, some internet connection problems. We had a few of those on some of the players earlier today. Again, Polish internet, not always the best from the looks of it. But 39,000 damage now for Anubarak. We got 46,000 for Li Ming. Li Ming definitely doing... I mean, she's carrying the team right now in those team fights. The nano boost from Endless on Li Ming is amazing and allowed them to get so many kills. But it's still only 8,500 hit points or points on the shield. So we'll see how impactful that's going to be for them. But the blue team, they definitely lost a lot of that momentum and the advantages that they had. There were 2 forts that they destroyed very early on, and they found themselves fully in the driver's seat. Now, that situation has definitely flipped a bit. There's still some work to be done for Team VVQ in order to bring this back, but we'll see with this Immortal, with the third Immortal of the game, the first one for the red team, how much they can actually recover from the spot that they're in right now. They have to attempt to push and get that fort at a minimum. Destroying the fort would be pretty big. This is also interesting. They take this a bit early. Is the timing actually working out for them here? I would have liked them to take this maybe a little bit later to try and have it assist a bit more with the defense. So it's just inside of the wall. Okay, opponent is already slowly taking it down. The wall is falling super quickly. And yeah, they are trying to just burn down the shield. And they put it into melee mode within seconds, but still a good chance that the fort is going to fall here. It's kind of funny because when you look at the minimap, there's still minions pushing for the blue team at the bottom and the top lane. Here comes the slide. Yeah, Sundering also thrown out, but ETC is still fine and the fort is gone. This, though, is what we talked about very early on. That's 2 catapults now, and it takes the top side wall out. Might even damage the keep. Somebody will have to move back eventually, and the red team is now already starting to retreat because they're realizing that even with poking from a distance, they won't be able to do too much. The jump a little bit too short to have an impact. I think that ETC was hoping to stop them, because if they stop the retreat, then this keep falls. If they were able to... As long as they don't die, if they just simply stop the retreat of the red team, the keep would have fallen. Like that, they destroy the wall, and they also take a significant chunk of the hit points of the keep itself out. But, yeah. 50,000 damage for Li Ming now against the 41,000 for Anubarak. He's still the top damage dealer for the blue team. Lunara is at 30,000. I like it, cheeky. Team Megumi moves in and takes the opponent's shaman camp away. Yeah, look at those guys. That is cheeky. Okay, so pushing at the top, maybe a little bit more. Sundering is again out. Could really try now to move in and take that keep. With that catapult that's pushing. But the Riptide to take the minion wave out. I think they're getting some hero damage in here. Yeah, push them back. And we'll see. Lano boosted Li Ming. This time doesn't get too much, but they are already aware of her potential to take down Sonya. That's why the Ancestor from Rhaegar gets still thrown out in that situation, just to make sure that there's no problem. But what just happened on the red team side is now happening at the bottom of the map as well. Catapult is griefing, of course, as it usually does, but the keep is also taking a little bit of damage over here. So, it turned into a really interesting one. It was an advantage for Team Megumi that led me to believe that we might even have a short first map in the best of 3 series. But now Team VVQ has really brought things back, and it is insanely close. Experience, they're essentially tied. We have level 10 kills versus 10. And it's the structural advantage of Team Megumi that puts them a bit ahead of the opponent. But overall, they are super close still. That fight at the top though, ETC now sliding out. This is a 5 versus 4. This is not something that you're really trying to battle through. So yeah, gotta be careful on that. Now, next few hits also coming in again. Having in the mid lane the next move made for the Immortal. I have absolutely no idea who's going to win this fight. Thrall is... I would have expected Thrall to move to the top, and actually does now, to get experience for the team. Sonya has done that at the bottom of the map already. They want level 20, and the blue team was just a little bit cleaner in that rotation and preparing for the next play. So they have that now. But, well, Anubarak just insta-dies, Gets taunted, and Li Ming with the big damage. Didn't even have a nano boost, and I think Team BBQ is going to take this now. They take ETC, they take Anubarak, and now they have not only level 20, but they have a 5 versus 4, versus 3 even on the map. Get an easy halftime show, and that should be 100% shield on the Immortal. So Li Ming is absolutely carrying this team. She put her big boy boots on earlier today, put the backpack on, and is now carrying with some monster calves the red team to a potential victory. 62,000 damage. Way ahead of anyone else. Li Ming is absolutely crushing things here. So, yeah, great for her. Li Ming with the big plays, and now we're having the fort at the top probably destroyed or significantly damaged before the Immortal is even there. So we're talking topside keep. And potentially, if they get more kills, even core. Anubarak is back. ETC is still down for a few more seconds. As expected, the fort is gone. And now with a big Immortal, it is time to attempt and wreck the blue team. Team Megumi. In the round robin in the group stage, they came in second place. Got a bit of a head start in the winner bracket. But Team BBQ, they took third, so it's a pretty intense match between them. Anubarak with a deadly charge and committing honorable Sudoku. He didn't hit anything. No follow-ups, guys. They're falling apart here. Team Megumi is absolutely falling apart. I mean, this Immortal is still 50% of his shield remaining, and the keep is already gone. So this is an utter disaster right now. They go for the next kill. Rega is gone. Nicely done. And this is game. 14 kills to 10. There's no salvaging this anymore. Yeah, the Immortal alone is going to take it. Ana is dead, but it doesn't matter. Thrall, Sonya, it's a graveyard, it's a bloodbath, but it's also game. The lead for Team VVQ in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket semi-final of the tournament. Nicely done. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm, as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before we continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. The lead for the red team. They turned the map around and were able to win it. So now we're going into Infernal Shrines. It's a little bit of a theme in the playoffs, honestly, that we have continuously... I mean, it's BOE, Infernal Shrines, and then they throw the occasional Volskaya in. Those were the maps that most of the games centered around so far. Especially Infernal Shrines. It's just mega popular over here. So... well, let's see who is going to claim victory here. Are we going to see that 2-0 win for the red team as they move on to the winner bracket final? Or are we going to go for another 3-mapper? Maiev gets banned. I feel like Maiev and Cho'Gall will probably be banned throughout the entire series, no matter what happens here. If we go to game number 3, I would expect at least on those 2 heroes the same ban pattern, just from the feels that we're getting from the teams here. One team despises going up against Cho'Gall, the other one does not want to deal with Maiev again. And I don't blame them at all. Falstad now as our first pick for Infernal Shrines. This is where things also get a bit more interesting. Another 10 heroes unavailable because they were played on the first map. So what kind of play are we getting from Team VVQ in particular here? I mean, they struggled in the early game, let's be honest. Battlefield of Eternity, the early game was rough for them. And what really helped them to win the series at the end and absolutely brought them over the finish line was Li Ming. Those resets and those continuous kills were just crazy good. Won them multiple fights. And that's a hero that is now not available anymore. So they have to make sure that somebody else is going to be able to do the job here. For now we have Team Hoodie. Tyrael and Auriel. They could be brother and sister. There must be some kind of things. Auriel and Tyrael are probably brother and sister, right? There's probably a lore thing. That's a thing, 100%. I mean, they have the same clothing style. If not, then they were hired by the same agency, like one of the two. So, Zul and Degard Kane. Degard Kane always nice for Infernal Shrines. More control over the entrance on the shrines themselves. You have so much area CC that you can use in these situations. So, it doesn't really come as a surprise that we're going to get him again. Obviously, with other heroes also being unavailable, that's another big tool that you can use right there. But, yeah, doesn't really shock. Now, when it comes to the final bans. Malthael and Deathwing. It's kind of funny to me when Deathwing gets banned, because Deathwing was one of the last Murky Cup where obviously we incentivized people to play heroes. I think the only hero that was not played at all, and not banned, not played, not banned, was Deathwing. Which is, yeah, kind of wild. I have confirmation, by the way, that Tyrael and Oriel are indeed siblings. I mean, I knew it. But we should have some duo combo. There should be some kind of combo effect that you get when you play Tyrael, Oriel, or when you play something like Varian, Anduin. Yeah, there should be some kind of combo effect that's would be made. That's not too OP. I don't know. Even if it's just a different animation. Ophia and Mei. Okay, so with Mei you have another frontliner that can also provide some CC. We got Leo, Tyrael, Leo, maybe even a triple frontline with Jaina coming in from Hajduinho as the burst damage. Could technically go Tyrael with Judgment and then Jaina follow up. Ooh, Judgment into Leo and Tomb, Jaina ring. Right there. So, final pick as we're heading into game number 2. Match point for the red team. And the final choice is D.Va. We have our triple front line, and we're going straight into the next game between Team Agumi and Team Vivekyu. The blue team on the left, Team Agumi, with the man himself on Deckard Cain. We got Bibshik in Ozul, Itrax on Orphea, Bolsas playing Falstad, and Warnick on Mei. Over on the right side of the map, we got Machko on D.Va. Endless is playing Oriel for the team. We have Ziomek on Tyrael. It's kind of interesting that you're going from Li Ming into Tyrael, so it's an interesting swap. But yeah, he did an amazing job on Li Ming earlier, so let's see what his Tyrael is going to give us. Vivekyu is playing Leoric for the red team, and we got Hajduinho on Jaina. So, let the games begin. Who is going to walk away with the W here? Is it going to be Vivekyu's team? Are they able to get that 2-0 lead? Well, win. It's still a best of 3 series here. Arden Restoration on level 1 for Tyrael. And we got also the heat transfer for Mei. So yeah, Mei with the heat transfer. And it's time to go for the typical mid lane brawl. But the red team doesn't really want to play. They were sitting around there for just a little bit and saying like, yeah, maybe we commit, maybe we don't. But they already had heroes up at the top, so they're not really going for any kind of decisive commitments. We're not getting that early kill, the early first blood when somebody laubers right there, so none of that happening. Top side, we got Zul now moving around again. Yeah, trying to take the minion waves here out as well. Over on the right side, we got Machko trying for the first mercenary camp. It's the usual MO here. It's a bit more of a slower start into the game, a bit more passive. They're waiting out the mercenary camps that are spawning and then are playing around those. So yeah, the attacks slowly coming here. But nothing of note. This little attempt to go for the neutral camp at the bottom of the map is probably the most aggressive thing that we've seen so far. It will be easier for them to take the right side, so I suppose there's a chance of walking away with 2 out of the 3 camps at the bottom of the map. But yeah, with that now, some stacks also for Falstad with a frequent flyer. And we'll see how much of an attack damage he is going to get throughout this. But yeah, a little bit more of a slow start into the second game. And for me personally, the question still is, how is the red team now going to react? And well, I guess I have my first answer. They're going in with some aggression as they're trying to take the camp away from the opponent. And they're able to pull it off. So they want to go for the 2-0 lead. They play aggressive in the early game, steal one of the camps. That makes them the team that grabs 2 out of the 3. No kill thus far, of course. And, well, they're getting the level 4 talents. Ruby! And a way more aggressive build now also for Tyrael with Divine Vigor as his level 4. Now, the first objective obviously popping up as we are slowly approaching level 6 and then the level 7 talents. But I still am not 100% certain who I think is going to take it. I think both teams have some absolutely fantastic tools that they can use, and it depends a lot on how they're going to be able to do that. If we have really Judgment for Tyrael, then some follow-up from Jaina with potential ring would actually be great. If they can go and blow some targets to Kingdom Come, That would be quite nice. You obviously then have to also coordinate that properly. So we'll see if they can actually do that. But right now, I think what they're doing has potential. You could technically also, of course, go into an Entomb and then just use the explosion of D.Va to dish out even more damage. That's another thing that's definitely in the cards for them. But everybody seems to be committed to that first objective. Falset is a bit low, so the chicken is chickening out initially. But there's the explosion. They create some space on the shrine for themselves. D.Va can still push them back even further. But Machko has to move back out. They have given up that lead too. So the blue team is completely taking control here. They're taking down the mech, and Machko is in trouble, is trying to run away here, is able to escape. Is there a counter kill? They're trying, but the ice block from Mei is a little bit too much for them to handle. Great whip into the corner, but it just doesn't change the outcome. They can't get a kill. They don't have level 7. The blue team has the talent lead and will therefore take the first objective. Yeah, Leo's already at the top. He's trying to get some structural damage in here as a counter, as a trade-off. But that's all that they apparently can do here, at least for now. So we're talking Mortar Punisher. Shouldn't really be that insane if baited over the wall properly. Enjoy it while you can, because this is going to disappear. The new patch that comes out is going to change some of the maps and have some pretty big impacts as well on the general gameplay. If you haven't checked it out yet, there is a YouTube video on my channel that you can have a look at, where I go over the biggest changes that Blizzard is implementing, and it seems like they really try to change the way that the game is played quite a bit. So yeah, again, videos on the channel, and if you watch this on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, hit the like button, and sub to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Helps to promote the video, of course, and just helps to get the word out that Heroes isn't dead yet. We're still there. Still fighting. Hashtag save odds. Level 9 to level 8. Blue team with a half level lead. And yeah, down here, the next camp is about to be taken. But the blue team is doing okay. Oh, are they going to lose the first hero? No, it is Jaina. First blood right there. 5 minutes in. Jaina is first blood. Can they get a counter kill? I do not think so. Mei has now been dropped low twice. And every time that she's about to die, they somehow are still keeping her alive. The ice block comes out, the heals come out, and they are able to just maintain that. So now we have an early level 10 for Team Megumi. 2 kills to 0. Poison Nova is in the game. And there's a half a level missing for Team BBQ before they're getting their own level 10 ability. Plenty of time before the next objective spawns, obviously. But yeah. Still. I'm still fairly sure that we're going to get Judgment here with the build that he's chosen. And then it's of course a question on what is Jaina going to pick, because they will have to try and blow someone like Falstad just out of the skies. Or go for a Fear. Any kind of stun lock. There's Judgment, no Ring of Frost. We get Aegis, get the Bunny Hop, and Entomb of course. But it is the Water Elemental, yep. So how are they going to play this now? With Judgment, you can really try and just lock some of them down quickly. They also try to isolate Mei here. Judgment is into the ult of Ophia. I like that. Using the ult as a safety tool for your frontliner. That's actually pretty cool. That's something that we haven't seen all that often. And since most of the time you get very medium value out of this anyways, this was a really sweet move to make sure that they can't fully gank up on Mei and try and take her down in force. Or it would have been tons of damage against them. So yeah, well played. Nicely done. Also, not really the biggest cooldown when you think about it, and now it's 20 seconds left, and that is more than enough time to get it back for the next Shrine fight, and for the next Punisher. So, 1 level lead, Team Megumi, looking good. The last time it started to turn on them on Objective 3, meaning they still have a little bit of time in the sun, if this game is playing out the same. But yeah, let's see what they can do. So far, they've been doing okay. Damage output, 16,000 for Falstad. Top damage in the game, even. Not bad. 12,000 for Jaina. Alright, again the attack right here. Mage battle between Ophia and Jaina. And here comes the ult. Ice block and Judgment. And that could be a kill, and it is a kill. finally putting a point onto the scoreboard for them. It's the kill against Zul that makes it happen. Yeah, D.Va already moving back out. Explosion only zoning the opponent away. But it's a 5 versus 4 for a few more seconds until we have Zul back in the mix. And they take the lead on the objective. This is actually looking really good for Team VVQ on Punisher number 2. And this is a frozen Punisher. So arguably the strongest one that we have in the game. Another move by D.Va. We go for another swing and slow from Leo as well, who will have his ult back in 15 seconds. There's level 13, the advantage. Jaina is dead, and the timing is horrible, just as we finally have the play made by the red team. But they are losing not only Jaina, they lose Auriel, they lose D.Va, and yeah, that's just way too much. So, easy defense. Easy defense, and this is a problem. It's a pretty big problem, honestly, because just as it seemed like, hey, maybe we can finally get some work done here, they're losing multiple heroes. Now it's 5 kills to 1. The only one, I mean, the team we could take only a single hero out, and that was it. If they don't lose their heroes at the bottom of the map, they at a minimum will get that fort. And right now, what do they actually get? They get the war. I mean, congratulations. That's not going to do anything for you. So, yeah. That's not going to cut it. So, pretty annoying from the perspective of Team VVQ after they won the objective and battled hard for it. And, yeah, we'll have to see how much more they can do. Because they have to win a few more fights if they want to turn this around. And the problem, of course, is not only that. Even with them winning the objective, because they lost the heroes, they are now behind the experience again. They go for the birdie, and they can't even take him down. No, he's still alive. I'm starting to feel a bit bad for them. Yeah, good for Team Agumi though. Team Agumi is playing this on Razor's edge and they're doing it well. Zul is dropping the fort at the top lane, by the way. And Warnick is very likely, of course he gets out. Of course, why do I even question it? So, yeah, the fort is destroyed. This was all a 4 versus 5 at the bottom of the map. Team Agumi had a fort behind them, but still. 4 versus 5, and the red team just didn't get a whole lot out of it. So we are getting closer and closer to a potential, third game. It's a bit too early to call it because there's a single fort destroyed, so it's not like the game is about to end. But there's now more and more pressure building up from Team Agumi, and they are doing very well here. Coming in, taking the bottom fort out too. Red team is just not reacting properly to this, so just on a rotational level, the blue team is just way better currently. Seems like game 1 might have been a bit of a warm-up game for them. They got rolled by Li Ming, but now that Li Ming is not available anymore and you can't go for those easy resets any longer, seems like Team Agumi is fully in the driver's seat. They go for D.Va again. Aegis is out. That only delays what we all know will happen. D.Va is dead and they try for Auriel. Stay a while. Get wrecked. They got Kane putting everybody to sleep again as they're going for the kills. And that's now 7 kills to 1. Level 16 and a half. I mean, damn, they're taking control here. They're taking absolute control of this. So, yep. Pretty awesome move by them. Now, Balsa also moving through the bottom of the map now with Falstad. Just making sure, very safe path for him as well. Not risking anything. Essentially just making sure that they have the perfect opportunity to take the minion waves out, get the experience, extend the lead while not dying because you get too greedy, try to go for a shortcut and move straight down in a straight line. So here they're playing it super safe and yeah, it's working. It's working incredibly well. Team VVQ should get level 16 for the fight, but if they lose on the objective now, that will be a very tough battle. I mean, they need to be something, right? They are already 2 levels behind. So if you don't make your move now, when are you going to make it? Down at the bottom of the map, Falstad, still alone, Judgment, and okay, no way. Oh my god. Did I already say that I feel a little bit sorry for these guys? Yeah, that hasn't really changed. So it's pretty much looking the exact same as previously. Now there's another objective that will be taken. Ice Wall is in. Warnick right through. Good ult again from D.Va. Jaina's already dead. They want more kills. They have the tools still to keep Mei alive, and now they're going for Tyrael instead. Tyrael and Oriel are the two that they really want to go for. And guess what? Oriel is dead too. Nice moves. There comes the Entomb, and it's basically just a trap for the red team. It didn't even trap the blue team. This is just a foregone conclusion. Deckard Cain, he doesn't die either. Arcane Punisher at the top, and still the camp here. They are absolutely crushing it. They're going through the red team like hot butter through cheese. Team Agumi with some seriously big plays now, and just a gigantic lead in this game. So yeah, that's amazing. For them, that's great. That's also a huge boost in confidence, of course, too. So they can go for the core here. It's a 5-man defense, though, so you got to be a little bit careful on how you play this one out. They have a bit left for 20, but it might even happen during this attack that they're going for 20. Especially if they're going to get more hero kills. And there's already one on D.Va. Mei goes down too. Another Entomb being used. Trying to trap them here a bit further. The core is falling, by the way. Zul is down. Mei is down. They're losing way too much and they're losing it too quickly. Jaina is gone. But the core, I think they might just barely be able to save it. False stat, 40%. I think that's probably going to be 20%. Oriel is dead. Just auto attacks alone are already going to solve this. Leo, Oriel, both killed. We go to game number 3, everybody. We're going to the final map as Team Agumi locks in the victory on Infernal Shrines. GG.